Geopolitically, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sipping pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature that mean extorted it. They forging it. If news ain't good informant to informing them, there's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we porting ships important. Yes, of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks. We ignoring which informant disinforming this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers act to say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Oh, what's up, guys? Yeah. Come over here. Bang. How's it going? Hope y'all enjoyed last night's stream. I got some pretty good feedback. Hopefully y'all know now that we're just in the approximately every 50-year period where the government starts having to rein it in because people start to wake up and they give you the illusion of some type of bucking of the system to fix the problems. And y'all will stop running around saying stuff like flat earthers for Trump, because that's a bad look. What up, homie? Obviously, if you don't know, Bob from Global Busters is a legend. Thank you, bro. What up, homie? What thank you. Will do. All right. So as y'all see, the name of the stream is Let the Dead Bury the Dead. So there's a server on Discord. It's called Debate Flat Earth and More. Definitely wouldn't encourage anyone going there. It sucks. But anyway, I finally decided to delete the server today. I used to go in there for long periods of time, right? We got like this guy who's like a rocket scientist and, these PhDs in astrophysics and physics professors. And so initially I was entertained by going in there, debating typically it's like 10 to 20 v1. Every once in a while I'll have like those 5 or 6 people all with credentials debating me at the same time, and none of them can debate the earth, right? Like this little college dropout that's so stupid that he thinks the earth is flat. And I thought it would be fruitful, to chop some of that up and see people that supposedly should know all the answers because they have all these credentials, and just kind of expose that they clearly do not have the answers, right? Like they can't answer simple questions. But it's clearly not worth it. You know what I'm saying? So I decided to let the dead bury the dead, right? So we're going to cover some of the cog dis justifications that people have to hand wave dismiss flat earth. And if you know people that fall under these categories, well, they also fall under the category of letting the dead bury the dead, right? Like, as the scriptures tell you, like dust off your feet. So you plant the seeds and you keep it pushing.
And it also says no prophet is accepted in his own village. What this means is if your family's like this, you still got to dust off your feet, right? Like if people that you grew up with in your hometown, your family and your friends are like this, you still got to dust your feet, right? Because this is a spiritual war that's going on right now. And flat earth is just but a part of it, albeit a very big part, because of course, if the earth is a geocentric stationary plane, you cannot deny design. And if you know that someone designed this place, well, you also understand that you have domain over earth as a human. So you know you're very important. And then you start to see everything with different eyes. So it's a big part of it. But the point here being, you're not supposed to let them drag you down. That's all they're going to do. And I like most of these people, they don't even know why they're doing it. Like, and this is kind of why I kept going in there. I'm like, well, they just don't even realize like how incredibly stubborn they're being, how much pride that they're exhibiting, right? I kept on trying to figure out ways to where like, oh, I'm going to break through to these people. I'm going to break through to these people. I'm at least get a few. And I did get some messages here and there. They'd be like, bro, I thought flat earth was stupid. I watched you come there and wreck them, dude. I got some questions. That's crazy. I never realized that there was a viable argument on the other side because I've just been in here hearing everyone talk about how stupid it is. And so I was like, this is a good thing to keep going in there. It is not. It's not a good thing. These people don't want to know the truth. And for example, I shouldn't even give them this much airtime, to be honest. But, like earlier tonight, I was like, dude, look, if you're going to keep interrupting me, I'm going to leave. So I'm going to give you one more chance. And I gave them like 3 chances after saying that. And they were intentionally interrupting me as soon as 4 or 5 words got in there, all jumping in, screaming, cussing, calling me names, whatever. And then it gets to where I start retaliating. And it just hit me, right? Like, this is doing nothing but dragging me down. They do nothing but drag flat earthers down. And these anti-flat earth channels, they need us. So screw them. Screw them. Let the dead bury the dead. Like when McLooney Tunes keeps trying to get me to go on his channel. No. You have an anti-flat earth channel. You need me. You need flat earthers so that you can make your little super chats. Screw them, bro. Screw them. Now, I'll still take debates with like prominent people. Right. So like if someone's got a good following or they're pretty prominent, I'll never not take advantage of that opportunity because it can wake people up. But you got to let the people go, bro. So before we cover some of the typical things that should serve as a red flag to you that someone falls under the category of you need to let the dead bury the dead, I'm going to play a video for you. And this is a perfect, segue into this. Like if people watch this, and they think, oh, that checks out, seems legit, let the dead bury the dead. Okay, so let's watch it. I don't know if I've ever seen it, but it's pretty hysterical.
Okay, we see that one went all the way in. Not quite. No.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny, right? So if you obviously these are things that could not happen if they were on the moon, right? Now, there's all kinds of things wrong with the moon. But if you think that they're not clearly on some type of a harness, you're hopeless, bro. You're hopeless. It's not that you are literally hopeless, but like until you surpass that point, you're hopeless. If you watch that and you're frantically trying to justify in your mind how they were able to do things that defy physics in a supposedly 1/6 gravity environment with basically no atmosphere of like 10 to the negative 12th or 14th tour around the moon or whatever, because no, the atmosphere extends beyond the moon, because that's what you have to do when your model's an accurate representation of reality, is constantly updated over time and change it, right? Like, that makes sense. You went to the moon. You literally went to the moon, but you didn't know that the freaking atmosphere extended beyond it, right? So, dude, just a perfect example, bro. Just that video right there, you're going to lose a ton of people. And what you're going to have to do, and I've learned this the hard way, I've learned this through experience, you're going to have to just swallow that, bro. And that, where it gets difficult is where, not strangers on the internet, that's easy, right? But it's like when it extends into your families and your friends. Like, bro, I'm not saying like, dust your feet off with your family entirely, right? I would never do that. And I have a similar experience, but like, if someone doesn't want to hear it, if someone's not going to like swallow their pride to hear all of the information without bias, they're just wasting your time. They're wasting your time. They're never taking you seriously. And dude, we don't have time for that anymore, right? Like, I don't know if y'all realize how serious stuff is getting, but it's getting very serious. We're reaching a climactic moment, and this is our job. It's to go wake people up that want to be woken up, to go wake people up that can be woken up. So that's what you got to do, okay? So let's run through some of the things that people say. This is what a lot of those people were saying once I left, okay? Well, first they try to say that I'm dumb. Now, once they realize they can't say I'm dumb, I'm either dumb or I'm a liar. I'm just lying about flat Earth. So I've told y'all this, I think, but I've actually received like death threats. Don't get me wrong, like, they mean nothing. They're ghost stories, right? They're just a bunch of gammas that spiral and send me like empty threats. They're ghost stories, but I received death threats, and this is not like a feel bad for Austin, right? I'm just putting things in a perspective. I had a really good job offer. I lost it because I refused to take my flat Earth content down and not talk about flat Earth anymore. I've jeopardized all my future employment, social ostracism, even within like circles that they're supposed to be close to me. So there's really no motivation to show my face and my name on the internet talking about the Earth being flat, other than truly wanting to wake people up to the truth and the fact they've been deceived. But this is what they'll say, that I'm either a liar, I'm stupid, or I'm just doing this for money, which would be a liar, right? So there you go. Let that be, like, let the dead bury the dead if they say things like that. You know that isn't true. And if this is the only way they can justify handwave dismissing you, let it be, right? Because first I was dumb, and then I intellectually just dismantled them in debate. So then it's that I'm a liar, right? So let the dead bury the dead. One of the main ones that we all know is, well, the reason that people are flat earthers is because of a religious motivation, right? So like, religious zealotry is the only reason that people think the earth is flat. Well, that's just stupid. So I'm pretty sure many people in the chat can attest. This is far from the truth. So if you haven't heard it, I'll tell it real fast. I was raised in a Baptist church. I was raised Christian, right? With a religious family. And that's what pushed me away from even considering the Bible to even slightly be viable. All right. I used to get kicked out of Sunday school. I used to skip church. When I couldn't drive, I'd get dropped off like during Wednesday nights. I'd just walk in the door. I'd wait a few minutes, see my parents drive off, call my girlfriend, who was like a senior in high school at the time, and I'd have her come pick me up because I couldn't drive. And then I'd leave. I'd skip church. I'd always sneak out. I'd try to get messed up during church. And then when none of those things were viable, I couldn't pull any of those off, I would ask questions, right? I'd be like, okay, let's look at your book, right? Genesis 6 says, and there were giants on the earth in those days, men of old, men of renown. What does that mean? What does that mean, bro? Well, they're not actually giants. It's just they're the sons of Adam, like the Adamite theory, or the Sethite theory, right? They're just sons of Seth, and they were just a little taller. But your book says that there were giants on the earth, and they were like heroic figures. They were men of renown, and they grew really old. They lived a long time. Well, no, it's not what it literally means, Austin, so please stop bringing it up. But, bro, I'm sorry, but the book right here, and I'd read it again, I'd get kicked out. All right? And I'm like, wow, y'all don't even believe in your own fairy tale, right? Like, what is a firmament? Oh, it's not being literal. So is the Bible right or wrong? Is it right or wrong? And so I was like, this is stupid, bro. This is dumb. And then this is at a young age. I didn't voice this to my family or anything. And throughout my years, I had a few spiritual experiences, but I always wrote it off to the idea that the collective consciousness is so powerful that if a group of people get together believing something, that there will be an actual reaction in the physical world, right? So I was like, just the collective consciousness is really strong. Your mind's really strong, and people believe it, so it happens. And my default position, I would have called myself agnostic. I never entertained the possibility that there was no creator, no God. Like, that literally makes no sense. And it didn't make any sense to me at all ever while I was growing up. I never thought atheism was even possible, because it's not. It's literally not. And no one's an actual atheist. It's a huge misnomer and misused term, right? Like atheism, if you look at the etymology and the original meaning and what the word means, when you label yourself an atheist, what you're saying is you're making a positive, definitive claim that there is no God. No one could ever make such a claim. It's lunacy, right? And actually, it takes way more faith to even pretend that you know that you could claim that there is definitively no God. It's just stupid. There's no such thing as an atheist in the real life. There's no such thing, okay? But I would say an agnostic. And what I would always say is, well, there's 4,200 religions in the world, and let me guess, yours is the right one. What a cool story, right? I'm like, you're an idiot. But anyway, fast forward, I was living with my ex. I was a B.O.B. fan, heard the album Earth, which was the third mixtape of the Elements mixtapes. He says the earth is flat, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, Mother Earth, what's up, chick? What's your measurements? And I'm like, what is this dude talking about? I keep listening. He's talking about the earth being flat. I'm like, this is stupid. Wow, I went around telling people to listen to this. Now I can't listen to this. Stupid. I know, I'm sorry. I know a lot of you have heard this stuff before, but the motivation for the title of the stream tonight was addressing all these misconceptions. So I'm using my story to give you an example that maybe you can relate to when you need to just keep it pushing. Okay. Anyway, so I go look into it. I'm like, I'll just disprove this real easily. There are pictures of Earth from space. I can't believe it evolved to such an extent of stupidity in the 21st century that people actually think the Earth could be flat. That is so dumb, bro. Like, I used to have an iPhone. It showed a picture of the Earth as the default wallpaper. Like, what's going on? So I go look for pictures of space. I'm like, this is going to take 5 minutes. Wrong, right? Those aren't real pictures. And the first red flag, now, this is where people differ. And this is my point here, is you're either intellectually honest or you're dishonest. Okay, so either you view the information with a bias or without a bias. And the craziest part is pretty much every flat earther actually had a bias towards the globe, right? We didn't want to be a flat earther. The way that we interpreted the idea of a flat earther was like the stupidest people ever, right? Like, for the most part, like most of us just had this instinctive response, like, that is so stupid. I can't even actually comprehend it, right? Well, with that bias and everything, but I was already very open-minded. I knew that a lot of things in the world were a lie. I had researched a lot of things. I found out about 9/11 when I was like 13 years old, right? So it wasn't like I wasn't so close-minded that I could never look at it honestly. And that right there is going to cut out 80% of the people. Let the dead bury the dead. Let them bury the dead. This is a tough pill to swallow. Let the dead bury the dead. If you're on Facebook arguing with the same people every day, let the dead bury the dead. Right? If you're talking to your family members that don't want to hear it constantly, let the dead bury the dead. Let them bury the dead. Drop a little food for thought here and there. If they come and ask you, then you actually be able to have a fruitful, productive conversation. If someone doesn't want to hear the truth and they're not open to it, you're literally not going to accomplish anything. You can bang them over the head with facts all day, and nothing's going to happen. They're just going to leave with a headache, right? So anyway, I'm like, okay. So being intellectually honest and not biased, I was like, well, why did they let everyone think this was a real picture? I found out the blue marble wasn't real. Like NASA themselves admit, it's just a cartoon. Like it's an artist rendition. Like NASA themselves admit that on their website. But we all know 99.9% of the world doesn't go read NASA's website, right? Everyone thinks it's a real picture. They intentionally showed it to us under the guise that it was a real picture. It was the default picture on all the iPhones across the world, right? So me right there, I knew something's up because they didn't say like, look, here's an artist's rendition of what the Earth looks like from space. They just presented it as if it was the real picture. Why would you ever have to do that? You would never do that. If the Earth really was a ball, you really been to space, and that was just an artist rendition, you would just tell everyone like, here's an, you wouldn't lie, bro. Okay. So I was like, oh, this is weird. But I know we have pictures from space. It's just the blue marble isn't one. Then I found out, well, the only one they claim that's real, and this was in 2016, was all the way back in 72. So we go from 72 decades and decades forward, and there aren't more real pictures of Earth? I'm like, what's going on? I already knew the moon landing was a lie. Okay? I thought they lied about the moon landing because they caught me with the safety net. Well, they were at a war with Russia, and so they had to lie to show technological advancements and superiority and even like the tactical positioning to be able to get to the moon where they could not mess with us, you know, America, right? Like we're fighting communism. So I knew the moon landing was clearly fake, but I thought it was fake for something, a geopolitical reason, right? So when I found out that the supposed real picture of the Earth from space was from 1972 during the Apollo missions where the thing is, you know, just going around the moon. They're not even on the moon. They're just going around the moon. They say they took a picture. I'm like, whoa, there aren't real pictures of Earth from space. And the only one they say is real is from 1972 moon missions, which I knew wasn't real right there. I instantly knew something's here. There's something here. Okay. Well, now what popped in my head was maybe flat Earth has got truth to it. The nature of the Earth may not be as they told us. Or there's something in space that they're hiding, right? Like aliens or something. Okay. So then what I did was I went and looked into it without bias. Found out, didn't even know this, that for all of recordable history, the stars just keep coming back around to the same point over and over and over around the center point, and that center point is right over the center of our Earth, right? And I was like, wait, you mean like forever? Yeah, forever, for all of recordable history. Immediately, I knew we had been lied to. Immediately, right? I don't always tell the story as bluntly honest as because the Gamma globes out spiral. Like, oh, the stars proved it to Austin. What an idiot. Like, no. I knew instantly, like intuitively, they're lying for sure, right? I thought that there may be something I don't know entirely about the Earth, but they're not telling us the truth. That doesn't even make sense. Because they told us, I knew that we were spinning and revolving and that the sun was shooting while the galaxy was shooting also, right? And so we're going 11 vectors, but the sky never changes for thousands and thousands of years. I'm like, what could possibly be the answer for this? Oh, well, it just takes billions of years, right? Millions and millions of years to see the difference because we're so small in this ever-expanding universe. I didn't buy it. And so what I did right then was start to learn the globe Earth model inside and out, find out that none of it holds water. And it's all based on the presupposition that the Earth's a sphere. All of it. All of it. Globers, I need you to listen, okay? All of it is built upon the assumption the Earth is a sphere. All of it. All of it. Okay? So you claim that we've been to space, we got pictures, right? And there's only like a couple that claim to take real pictures now and like laughably fake. Clearly cartoons. But anyway, so I decided, well, let's go see how much of this is built upon presupposition. And then when I found out that all of it is, then I had to accept the truth, bro. And then I kept going. And dude, the Earth has proven to be flat. It has been proven to be flat. And that is why we are censored into oblivion, right? And I'll play a YouTube video if I can find it. If anyone knows where it's at and they can like message me or something where they straight up tell you in Congress that they censor flat Earth, right? If anyone can find that video, like maybe we should all watch that too, right? If you play that for a glober, And they say, like, if they try to justify it, wash your hands, bro. Let the dead bury the dead. Anyone that tries to justify the censorship of flat Earth, they're not ready. They're not ready, because truth does not fear investigation, bro. Right? And so you are actually self-projecting your own insecurity as a self-defense mechanism to justify censorship, so that you cannot face the fact that they're hiding it because they don't want it to get out, right? Like, y'all don't even entertain that as if it's a viable option, right? Like, oh, this is a danger to society, right? Because people thinking God's real and that the earth doesn't spin is such a danger to society, right? Or they're hiding the truth. The clearly more obvious reason, y'all don't even entertain it. If they cannot entertain both sides of the argument, let the dead bury the dead, right? That's the whole point that I'm trying to make. So anyway, I told you all that to explain all that Flat Earth did. I found out about Flat Earth in 2016. I had a very, very real spiritual awakening and experience with God, specifically Yeshua. Like, very real experiences that no one in this chat can explain away. No one. I've asked every atheist or agnostic I know. They can't explain it. You can't explain it. It can't be explained. Okay. Happened 2 times, 2 different types of experiences. It's very specific to my prayer. 2 times in 5 days. Inexplicable events. Inexplicable. Okay. And at this time, this was like 2018. Like, almost midway through. A little before that. So then I was like, whoa. But one thing's for sure, the Bible is viable now, right? Because I know the earth's flat. So I can't as easily just throw it away, right? Because, like, it's wrong from the beginning and it doesn't even know how to describe creation. And if God made everything but then gave us a book that doesn't even describe what was made, then it's obviously wrong, right? I was like, well, it is at least viable, right? And that's whenever I ended up having the spiritual experience. So clearly that was a long way of saying religious motivation is not why I think the earth is flat. And that's not why almost anybody found out the earth was flat. All it does is it makes every ancient text viable again. It makes every ancient text description of the earth viable, actually accurate, right? That's all it does. So what someone does, they try to justify, hand wave dismissing flat earth, saying that it's because of religious zealotry. Think about I'm pointing all this out to you so you really can start to pick up on how dishonest someone is, so you know not to mess, like, there's no need, right? The dishonesty, the depth of dishonesty that you have to go to try to justify dismissing it because of religious zealotry is so stupid. Because 99% of Christians think the earth is a magic spinning cartoon ball brought to them by Jesuit priests, where water bends around a sphere, like a not quite sphere, in a vacuum, okay? With gas pressure just chilling around a ball in a vacuum, okay? They all believe that. And whenever they says the earth's immovable and fixed, they say, oh, it's fixed in orbit, right? Oh, I hope we're live on D-Live. I didn't even check. Anyway. What's up, everybody in D-Live? I'll check y'all's chats, too. Don't think I'm going to leave y'all hanging. And thank you for everyone that goes to D-Live. And hopefully, all of you people will eventually migrate at least to go over there and follow me, in case if I ever get kicked off, you'll know where to find me. And they just don't grabble streams. They don't grabble your money the same. Like, it's just way better. So it's way better, but doesn't have everything YouTube has. But anyway, so this is, you understand what I'm saying, right? Like, if someone says the only reason people think the earth's flat is because of religion, they're being so dishonest with themselves. They're useless. They're useless, bro. They're useless, because almost all Christians don't even think that. It's stupid. It's so stupid, right? And I believe in the scriptures, right? And it's way more than 66 books, okay? So, you know, whatever. We'll get into that some other time. But the point is that all it does is it shows you that all ancient texts are viable again. It's not just the Bible. It's not exclusive to the Bible, right? It's like the Quran, which was written 600 years after Yeshua. Says he's a holy prophet, but that he was wrong about stuff. So that one didn't work for me because it had an inherent contradiction in it right there about Yeshua. I went and looked into that without bias. Most historically accurate figure to ever exist, bar none, not even close. He 100% died, was crucified for something he didn't do. He was innocent, was crucified. 100% His tomb was empty. So 100% lived, was killed, empty tomb. Atheist historians admit that, right? That blew my mind, bro. Because if you go listen to mainstream people, which is what most people do, they don't think for themselves. They just want to know what their like authority figures are going to tell them to think, right? But once you find out that like Zeitgeist, right, says that like the story of Jesus is just the same as all the other ones, it literally isn't. It literally is not. Like Zeitgeist is easily debunked, easily. Completely stupid. So I wondered, well, why did mainstream tell me he didn't even exist? If you were just some dude that existed, why would you have to lie that he even existed? It didn't really make sense. But the point is, you can go to any ancient text throughout history. They all had a cosmology of a geocentric stationary Earth. All of them, with the firmament. So that's all it does, bro. Now, one thing it does do, the truth to it is that once you realize that the Earth is a geocentric stationary plane, you cannot deny that there's a creator. It cannot be not denied. Literally. There is no other viable option. Now, this is why they told you that it was heliocentric. Because if it was geocentric, you couldn't deny God. And this is another thing that they'll cling on to, right? Like, well, they just think they lied behind God, right? Well, they did, bruh. You know why? Because you're not even allowed to be in these groups unless you acknowledge that there's a creator. You cannot be an atheist and be a Mason. You can't. So they want as many people to be atheists as possible because that means they're that much further away from the knowledge that they consider to be what gives them power, right? And that's what illumination is. It's seeing in the dark, right? That's the whole idea. They're illuminated. They can see what you cannot see. That's the entire belief system. That's the esoteric belief system right there, right? So the Gnostic beliefs all stem from the idea that they're illuminated, you are not. This is why they're obsessed with owls, because owls can see in the dark, okay? And then, of course, if you don't know, there's many different things that the G and the Masonic symbol stand for. Gnosticism, Grand Architect, Gadrael, right, which is where you get God from. But Gadrael was actually the serpent, Lucifer, that came down and deceived Eve. They probably twisted the story, took Enoch out, took the very name of the serpent, then told everyone in the world to use the abbreviation of the serpent's name as what they consider to be God. And that's just all a coincidence. So also another thing it stands for, and this is the big part, right? Geometria. And that means measurement of the earth. Geometria. And so it has a compass and a square. It's hidden in plain sight. The reason they're called Masons is because they're obsessed with the stonework of the ancient civilizations. They're monolithic and metallithic structures. That's what Masonry is, right? Stonework. Their entire belief system stems from ancient mythology. And of course, they told you it was mythology, but they do not believe it's a mythos. They believe it to be literally true. And so anybody that tells you they know about Masonry or they're a Mason and it's all metaphorical, they're lying or they're not in the know, okay? Geometry, measurement of the earth, square and compass. Then you go read things like The Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall, right? Flat Earth depicted on the book. You go read Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike. Tells you straight up the earth is a plane. You use planar geometry and trigonometry that the earth's a plane. Straight up tells you that. Okay. So in their own literature that they pass down to one another, the most infamous Masons, they know that the earth is flat. They know it. Basically, the idea being, how could you ever get to where you know your true power? Because that's the whole idea. Alchemy, transmutation, transhumanism, getting to the heightened state of enlightenment, right? To the higher self. They know that you could never do that if you don't even get to the rudimentary base foundation of acknowledging that you were created, that you were designed, right? That's why. That's why they took it away from you. It's not like, dude, the dumbed down normie thinks, oh, these crazy religious zealots, they just think they hiding God, this man up in the clouds, like sitting on the throne in the clouds, right? Like, no, you're an idiot. And they're laughing at you, bro. They are making fun of you. And what you're doing is you're actually giving the offspring of you and all the future generations an unfair chance to be able to come to that realization that they are inherently, deserving of. And that's pathetic, bro. That's pathetic. So if you want to be a good goy and you want to sit there and you want to cuck to the state and to authority and be nihilistic and materialistic and ignore the very inevitability of creation, go for it. Do not propagate that forward onto innocent, malleable minds, because you want to know what the scriptures do say? That if you are going to mislead these children, it's better that you have a millstone tied around your neck and be thrown into the depths of the sea. Really take that in, okay? If you're going to mislead these children, it's better that you have a millstone tied around. It's better that you have a millstone tied around your neck and you be thrown to the depths of the sea. And you people are propagating this very lie that is brainwashing malleable minds from the youngest age. And it happened to all of us. We were all like, what, 5 years old when we first heard this nonsense? You guys have got to get it together, bro. You've got to get together. Just a second. And I forgot to turn the oven off. What a loser. All right. So yeah, and I'm not trying to talk too much about like God, right? But like because that's not really my point. Although this verse does of course come from what Yeshua said, but I'm acknowledging that this is what they say about me. That the only reason that, well, first they say I'm stupid. I'm using me as an example, right? I'm being transparent with you guys about everything so you can apply it to how it applies to you, right? They say, oh, Austin's so stupid. He's an idiot. Dumb flat earther. Oh, he's not dumb. Well, he must be a liar. Oh, well, he's not dumb. I don't think he's lying. He really believes it. Well, then it must be because he's a religious zealot. These are grasp at straws, bro. Grasp at straws justification for their own subconscious and their own conscious cognitive dissonance, confirmation bias, right? And the truth is, these people have Stockholm syndrome, right? They grow to love their captors, right? The captive turns to love their captors. That's what they've done. So now you have people running around as if they're defense attorneys for the government and for the state and for the grabblers and for the elites, right? The powers that shouldn't be, the not elite, right? So that's what they're doing. And so I asked that room, is there one official narrative that you can say you disagree with? And the whole room turned to crickets. I knew instantly there is nothing that can be gained from this place, bro. So every one of you have a talent, bro. Like every one of y'all like have an aptitude God gave you. You all have a purpose. And what you need to do is you need to focus on reaching the people that need to be reached, because there are numerous people in this world that are open-minded. They're not just drowning in ego and arrogance, right? They don't deny the inevitability of design because they know they can't explain like DNA or even a protein or an amino acid without it, right? And they're going to listen to you. They're going to be more open-minded. That's who you need to go talk to. And Nathan Thompson used to always tell me this. And he's right, bro. He's right. He's like, dude, let the dead bury the dead. I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. I feel you, bro. But then I find myself in this perpetual cycle, like the cyclical debate that's just pointless. And that's not what we're supposed to be doing right now. That's not. It's 100% not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be going out there, planting seeds everywhere. And the people that have at least sought humility so much so that they want to know the truth, no matter what it is, that will be watered in their own time. So I'm not trying to preach to you guys. I know this was a little preachy, but I'm just, maybe someone in here needs to hear it, bro. That person on Facebook that keeps on arguing with you every single day and calling you stupid and never listening and cycling the same dumb, played out, misconceived arguments, keep it pushing. They're useless, okay? Every single thing that they tell you requires the presupposition of a spinning ball. Everything, including the very supposed measurement of it, right? Where, first of all, measurement is not the same as calculation, okay? And then Aristophanes, who probably didn't even exist, no primary documentation, looked at some sticks in the ground shadows. This is the story, even though he literally probably didn't even exist. He definitely didn't do this. There's literally no primary documentation. And he assumed the earth was a sphere because the Greeks had decided that the perfect shape was a sphere. This is Platonism evolving into Neoplatonism, right? And so assuming the perfect shape to be a sphere, so the earth, of course, perfect, and created. They all acknowledge that it was created. Like the very foundation for this heliocentric religion that people use to justify ignoring the inevitability of creation, right? These people that came up with it knew it had to be created. They were not so stupid to think that it could be here without being created, right? Because they couldn't even start to theorize about all these crazy coincidences in the heliocentric model without it, right? And of course, the fact that it's a sphere doesn't mean it's heliocentric, but it has evolved into this. And anyway, he goes up there, he just assumes the Earth's a sphere to utilize spherical trigonometry, assuming an infinitely distant sun that has parallel rays, because he didn't know anything about refraction or anything. Just like, oh, the light rays are just coming straight, and it's gotta be super far away if the Earth's a ball, right? That's literally what it is. The very thing that they claimed that established the circumference had to presuppose the Earth was a sphere, and it wasn't a measurement. It was a calculation based on the assumption of sphericity. Okay? Then you fast forward to where they supposedly got the radius. Al-Biruni, assuming the Earth to be a sphere, looked out at the horizon, took an approximation of a difference in angles, and then he's like, oh, well, somewhere in where this horizon keeps moving back and forth, there's got to be a curve, right? The Earth's got to be physically curving here somewhere because we know the Earth's a ball. So let's just take an approximation. Oh, that one was way too far. We'll throw that one out. Oh, that one's too close. Throw that one out. Okay, now we're getting in this middle range because they reverse engineered the optics of the eyes, literally. And do you ever wondered why the supposed curvature is right where it's reverse engineered around your eyes optics, like literally. Okay. And then he's like, okay, we'll just throw out all the outliers where the horizon's way too far because we know there's got to be a curve here somewhere. And then he approximated it based on, measuring the difference in angle dips, literally. And this was run with for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And so the question is, if there's really a ball, why do they have to falsely stake that to be evidence that that's when they first discovered the Earth was a ball? And NASA put a video out like within the last couple of years still saying this. So there's no primary documentation to validate the story ever happened. Yet NASA goes around saying they know it happened. You don't have to lie when you're not lying. You only have to continuously lie when you're not telling the truth, bro. So I don't see how people don't see it. I don't get it. You people need to swallow your pride, bro. Oh, here's another one of the main things that they'll say. This is probably one of the main ones, right? Except for the ones we already covered. That, again, this is all so you know how to spot the people that you just need to let be, right? Leave them be, bro. I'm trying to think what I was about to say. Oh, yeah. That the reason that these people are conspiracy theorists is because they just want to feel special. What's your opinion on what's past the ice wall? Well, I don't even make a definitive claim for sure. Thank you for the super chat. I don't make a definitive claim for sure that there's an ice wall. It does seem to have a lot of evidence that could be happening because we have depth in the oceans, and so water always conforms to its container and seeks level always, like literally always. So the depth alone shows it's contained, and of course it has to be. It does appear that we have ice, yeah, but what's beyond it, I don't know. I think the firmament touches down, like there's an end, and the firmament touches down. Where that is, I don't know. Is there an ice wall that extends into way more land? And it's very possible, guys, that there's the ice wall, and then just land goes out from there, and then the firmament comes down somewhere outside of it. Okay, but this is why I think that this book right here is removed, because you know what we do. We constantly try to speculate, well, what's the firmament? What's going on with it? I wonder. This book is so descriptive about it. It's insane. It tells you it's made of crystals. It comes down and it touches the ground. It tells you all about it. It tells you that the things that people call planets, which of course the etymology for planet is wanderer, that those are the rebellious angels, and that whenever they they didn't go in their fixed position that was designed for them, then they rebelled it. Well, then they got put in chains. Now they move differently, and it tells you what they're made of. It tells you what you're viewing is made of, and it explains to you what different types of stones that you're perceiving, and that's why you see certain colors. Well, guess what? How many planets do they say there are? They say that there are 8, including the Earth, right? So that means that there are 7. Well, it literally, thousands of years ago, this book was written, and they told you that there were 7 of these rebellious angels. Thousands of years ago. Thousands. And smart humans that have been to space in their little fairy tale paradigm, which obviously you can't go to space, that defies natural law, right? They tell you, well, we used to think it was Pluto was a planet, now Pluto's not a planet. We never saw Pluto, though, did we, guys? No, it was just a story they told us. But now Pluto got too far away, and now it's not a planet. So they can't even keep up with their own story that's constantly changing, and that's because they're lying. It isn't what's really going on, and nature itself constantly reveals their lie. So they have to constantly update their story, bro. Constantly. So, like, did I read Enoch and I was like, oh, the earth must be flat, there must be rebellious saying? No, I had never even heard of the book, bro. When I heard about flat earth, like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm looking for the truth. People in this chat, they're looking for the truth. That's what a lot of you Globers need to do. And if you get some of these red flags from them, you need to let them go. You need to let them go. And I know this isn't like some serious break the spell wizardry gravy stream tonight, but I got plenty of those coming for you guys. So there's nothing to worry about. I got plenty. No, the gravy will be overflowing, probably to an extent that might be too much. But I felt that this needed to be spoken about, and I probably need to hear it myself, because I kept getting dragged in there. I kept wanting to help these people, and if you go ask them, they'll never believe that that's true, right? Because I would lose my cool in there, and I would like cuss, and I would like get mad, and I'd even call names of like, you're an idiot, you're a gamma. And they are gammas. Like, they literally are like almost all gamma males, like Secret King, little special boys. They actually are. But like, it's just, there's no need for that. I don't need to be in a position where I'm constantly like, you're a gamma, you're an idiot, shut up, and then cussing and stuff. It was all bad. It's all toxic. And I just have to let it go, bro. I can't force those people to want to know the truth. I can't force those people to be helped. And like, you can't either, bro. You can't either. And what I found out is when I just finally was like, whatever, bro, I'm not going to tell you about it anymore. Like, my family, people in my family reach out, of course, like in secret, and don't want me to say anything because they know the rest of the family will have something to say, right? But like, when I stopped like just constantly bringing it up, people realize, well, I'm not going anywhere with this idea. This isn't a phase Austin's in that's gonna, no. I know more about every single aspect of the thing that they bring up, the conversation, than they do. So I'd rather not have it. But some people in my family, they do want to know the truth. Okay. And they know the earth is flat, but they can't come out and say it. So the best thing, what I did was they heard me plant the seeds. I let it be. They ended up coming back to me. And then once they came back, they were asking me questions. They didn't feel like they were on the defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just were listening. They were asking questions. They were soaking it up. They wanted to know how it all could work. They wanted to know these basic questions that we all had. And that's whenever it clicked for them, they realized. It wasn't like I didn't give them information before. They weren't ready to hear it, right? They were just in a defense mode. They're just like, they're constantly thinking in their head, I'm going to find an answer or a question that Austin can't answer that's going to stump him. And so once they asked me, what are satellites? And I started explaining the whole idea of satellites, immediately their brain blocks it all out, and they're thinking of the next question they think is going to stump me. All they heard was, that didn't stump me. Now I needed to come up with a new one. Now, when people are in that mindset, you can't reach them. They don't want to know the truth. That whole entire server is like that, okay? There's a bunch of people like that. You just got to keep it pushing. And this goes beyond the earth, by the way. All of this Let the Dead Bury the Dead I've laid out for y'all so far, this is just about the earth. This goes far beyond the earth. Far beyond the earth, right? Like, if someone will look you in the face and argue that it's not murder to murder a baby, a defenseless baby, let the dead bury the dead. If someone's going to argue with you that they should be able to murder the most defenseless thing in the world, the most innocent, defenseless baby in the world, you're going to go murder a baby. Let the dead bury the dead. Right? If someone's going to actually go defend baby murder, you can't convince them anything, bro. You're not going to convince them it's not murder. They may have done it themselves. They may know someone that did, right? They're not going to be able to let it go, right? And that's until they're ready. So my whole point of this is, dude, if people aren't ready, they're not ready. And God knows when they're ready. God knows if they're ever going to be ready. God knows how to get them where they're going to be ready. And so we got to stop letting these people drag us down. And honestly, Bob has been basically in my ear telling me this for a while. And Bob, you were right, bro. You were right. Like, these people are useless. They need us, and they want to drag us down. And that's their only thing. They're toxic. They want to drag us down. It's draining, right? It drains me. And I would always get exhausted when I leave that place. I'd be like, I'm doing this for the better good, right? Like, I'm I'm going to keep sucking up because I'm just trying to do what's right. I'm just trying to get the truth out there. There's a much more efficient way to get it out there, and that is not how we're supposed to, right? We're straight up told, dust off your feet, bro, and keep it pushing. But if the town does not receive you, dust off your feet and keep going. All right, there you go. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. So what's going on, homies? See what you are talking about. Thanks, man. Enoch is in the Ethiopian Orthodox canon to this day. Yeah, exactly. We're going to get into some Enochian, some Enoch gravy. Trust me. It's crazy. It's super crazy. And you know what's so super crazy too? Jubilees was also removed. And Jubilees straight up tells you he was, I'm pretty sure Enoch actually says it too. Enoch was the first person to write. So when they tell you they found the Akkadian, Babylonian, Sumerian tablets, and those are the oldest things, and no, it doesn't seem like that's the case. And so if he's the first person to write, and then people say, oh, this was a pseudepigraphical text that was combined by numerous different authors years after the fact. Well, that's not what the scriptures say. They say he was the first one to write. And if he's the first one to write, what would be the first book of the scriptures? Obviously, the first one written, right? So where should we start reading the scriptures? Probably the first one ever written, right? Well, okay, so when we read it, and it tells us all about the watchers, it tells us the names of the watchers and how they deceived everybody in each different deception that they brought about, how big they were, the different offspring, the differences, the descriptions of the earth, how there are different portals in the sky, basically, that there are phases in the earth, and that the orbits will never change, the seasons will never change. In fact, that they're actually angels in the sky, and that there are rebellious ones, right? And they're within the waters above, and there's actually a firmament that protects those waters from coming down, and that when Enoch was brought up there and he was standing on the ground was made of crystals, and that up above were the stars. That's why this was removed. This book was removed for so many reasons that it's insane. And so we'll definitely get into Enoch. I mean, it's the key. It's the key that we're supposed to have. And that's why it says, I'd take up my discourse for a distant generation. It says, not for this generation do I expound, but concerning one that is distant I speak, and concerning the chosen I speak now, and concerning them I take up my discourse. This is for a distant generation. Well, what happens? The Catholic Church gives a decree to remove the book of Enoch from the face of the earth. Now, the Catholic Church took a lot of books out, but they seem to care more about this one than any other one, right? They felt so strongly, they said, remove it from the earth, bro. Make sure it's nowhere. Make sure no one can ever find this book. Remove it from the face of the earth. And they did a pretty damn good job of doing it. But it surfaced in modern times in a small Ethiopian tribe in their canon, and it never was removed. Okay? Now it's been revealed. Now it's been revealed to the people. All right? And now when you read that and then you read the Old Testament, it makes sense. Now you read the Old Testament without it, it doesn't make any sense. None of it makes sense. Go kill every man, woman, and child. What are you talking about? What? When I used to ask people in church, why does it say, go kill every man, woman, and child? They would say, oh, well, just God knows what he's doing. Yeah, that's why I'm asking you. He knows what he's doing. And apparently what he's doing is going killing every man, woman, and child. So can you please explain to me how that's not crazy? That seems to be like an emotional, like crazy psychopath, right? Like what do you mean kill? No good answers. But then you read Enoch, you realize those people literally weren't even humans. They weren't humans. They were genetically different than the rest of the humans. That's what the actual story is. I was never even given a fair chance. We were never told the real story. We were never told the real story. They were genetically altered, and they even turned onto the animals. So every man, woman, child, and animal was to be killed. Well, they were all genetically altered. They were not human. So anyway, that was a bit of a side tangent based on that comment. But I've never heard of that. Kanak? What do you think the moon truly is? It drives me insane trying to quantify it. I don't think you're supposed to fully understand everything about the moon, but I would lean more towards like a naturally occurring hologram due to the polarization. The polar lensing that's naturally occurring in the atmosphere, and I don't know where the actual location of the moon is or what it is, or is it just a naturally occurring hologram that doesn't need an original thing to project it? I don't know, but yeah, Cami has a lot of like good ideas about that, but it seems to me that would be more consistent with observable phenomena. And of course, we don't actually know where it's located. Like, well, we know it's pretty much know where it's located, but is it within the firmament? Is it in the firmament? Is it beyond it? What type of medium is it encompassed in? How is that affecting what we perceive? We simply do not know these things. I mean, I can speculate. I think that there's a fluid-like medium that's thousands of times more dense than the perceivable world that we have, and that would be consistent with observable phenomena. Just like Tesla said, this would explain the efficacy of propagation of sound waves, because we know that the efficacy of propagation is directly proportionate to the density. So due to sound waves, that would mean the ether would have to be thousands of times more dense than the air. So basically, I don't know, is that like the entire spectrum of vibration without the veil that we have in this material world in these eyes? Because your eyes can only perceive like a small spectrum of vibration, right? And so what light is it excites the medium, and it puts the medium within that spectrum of vibration that your eyes can see. That's all it does. That's all it is. And of course, the source of all energy and all light is from outside of this place. And then we live in a closed dynamic system. There you go. And that would be God. Is there hurting babies is the ultimate way to hurt God? Well, even worse than that, do you think that it's going to go unpunished that there are like millions and millions of babies' blood on the hands of, like, say, just America alone? I would guess probably not. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Of course, the update on that, Simon Dan ran away. He's not going to ever debate me. Every time he said something, I just said, so are you going to debate or not? And he ignored and ducked the questions like 4 straight responses and then disappeared. Once I said, seems like you're afraid to answer, he just disappeared. So obviously no shocker there. I'll go up, see what I miss. Oh, I got to go talk to the people in homies in D-Live. Nephilim, there was some Captain that sailed out there. Debating is completely pointless. I wouldn't say that. I've gotten like an insane amount of emails thanking me for it, saying I welcome up to Flat Earth. That's the only reason I do them. You know what I mean? Like, what up, homie? Chainsaw Cat, what up, bro? Falker, what up, bro? Oh, Mr. Anderson, what up, Wizard Slay, what up, bro? Sorry, I had to come show some love. I'll get better at not forgetting about D-Live. Everyone, please just go to D-Live, create an account. You can even download an app, and then you can follow me on there. So I look trash. This is apple juice, bro. I'm completely sober. The Book of Enoch was created for the last generations. Indeed. Thanks, man. Yeah, let's watch the Moonlight thing. I gotta use the bathroom.
No.
Oh, perfect timing. Look at that. All right. Yeah, I'm thinking if anyone's got like some good gravy ideas for streams, hit me up. But I got some really good ones. Whitsitt at Proton Mail and WitsitGetsIt at Gmail. I try to check both of them daily now, which I was really bad about it. Sorry. I'm really bad about checking messages, like just a thing. And then we have a flat earther versus flat earth debate. Actually, let me get the picture from QE so y'all can see what I'm talking about. So we're gonna debate gravity. The two flat earth positions on it, right? Save image. I think, it'll be probably one of the most productive debates I've ever been a part of, right? Like, like I said, we gotta let the dead bury the dead, bro. Like, screw. I'm not saying that we shouldn't like continue to debate in these platforms every day. It's very good. Like when people are first hearing about flat Earth, very good thing for them to do is like when they go listen to QE or like Ball Busters or like Nathan, like they listen to Nathan Oakley and QE and all these people like dismantling the globe, and they have Globers come in there. When someone's never heard the arguments, they get to hear the arguments each time from both sides. This is very productive when no one's ever heard any of the information. And that's why I disagree that debates with globe earthers is completely useless. I 100% disagree. Like if I was new to it and I got to just fall off into 24/7, I would have been so much better off than me having to find out everything by myself while my girlfriend was just completely disinterested the whole time. And it wasn't that she didn't care at all, but like she didn't care like I did. And she was just if I got convinced, she was going to be convinced, she's like, oh, Austin's smart, I'll believe it. And so I had no one there with me to answer my questions or talk through it to me and try and point me in the right direction. Didn't have a compilation of information, but I did still get recommended good videos. I had to watch all these videos, and every time I had a question, I had to type it in and then go watch a whole video about it. But now people can just, if they can get through the censorship enough to see Eddie Bravo call out Nathan Oakley's show, or they can find 24/7 or my channel or Jaronism or Glowbusters or QE's channel, any of these prominent channels that we have, which there are tons of them. I'm sorry, I'm always going to end up leaving people out. I love all you guys, right? But this is very, very important that people can come hear all the arguments talked out both sides, and they can just see how stupid the globe earth side truly is. Right? Now, this cannot be done in places like Debate Flat Earth and more. It just simply cannot be. It's 20 people that are all going to spam you with diversion, random questions they think are home run questions, never let you finish, never actually concede, constantly invoke fallacious reasoning. But when you go to 24/7 or these other places, you're not allowed to constantly use fallacies. And it's not like that's unprecedented. That's how actual intellectual exchange works. And that's why Neil deGrasse Tyson and all these people with degrees can't debate us or never will debate us, because they have a reputation to uphold to, and they could not come in there appealing to authority, appealing to majority, reification fallacy, straw man fallacies. They couldn't do this. They could not do it. So I do think it's very important that we still have a presence in that sector. Like there's no doubt. Like 24/7 super important to me. Like in my opinion, like it's super important to the whole thing. You need somewhere for people to go and hear the debate. So here you go. Brian's logic, WitsitGetsIt, flat versus flat. The topic will be gravity. And of course, I say gravity is incoherent dielectric acceleration. Everything with any compilation of matter that exists is inherently electrostatic. So incoherent magnetism. If the Earth's electrostatic and an object's compilation of matter is electrostatic and you drop it to the ground, well, that means it's electrostatic acceleration. And if you can't isolate or exclude for electrostatics, I don't see how it wouldn't be dielectric acceleration. It's incoherent because it isn't, the molecular alignment isn't such that gives you a coherent field. Right, so it's just discombobulated. It's going in all different directions. It's super weak. As that mass increases, it gets even weaker. So the strength of pull or attraction, which I put both of those in parentheses on purpose, but the strength of pull or attraction is actually disproportionate to the mass. And again, of course, you put mass in parentheses because mass is conceptual, doesn't exist. That's just matter, and it's an attempt to quantify or reifying gravity, but just for intents and purposes. So there you go. And of course, magnets do not attract to one another, right? It's not like they're pulling one another in. That's not what happens. Like they accelerate towards each other. It's because pressure mediation. So there's a magnet, has a magnetic field, you got another magnet, got another magnetic field. Well, the energy, which field's not even well defined in like higher education. That's how stupid higher education is. They haven't even defined field, but it's just an autonomous perpetual energy, right? That means it's self-sustaining and it's gonna keep on going, right? That's what a field is. You have your magnetic field, it's constantly in this perpetual exchange of energy, and that causes pressure to mediate relative to the energy that's moving, right? So the pressure mediates relative to this energy, and so then the magnets accelerate towards one another to the null pressure point in between them. That's why you have magnetic attraction, right? So anyway, I don't guess anyone asked any of that, but there you go. Scammer and dancing hella trolls over here. Yeah, no, dude. Like they stalk my comments and try to like spam thumbs down and stuff, but whatever, dude. They're just losers. How many phone number that is? I don't want to miss. Oh, where's it at? Oh, there it is. Your thoughts on the UFO phenomenon? Thank you for the super chat very much. I think that electrographic propulsion or magnetic levitation probably has a lot to do with it, right? Magnetism simply. But I think that once you get higher and higher in the air, you actually reach a certain extent where maybe you kind of can just move without having any type of like, energy introduced into the environment itself. This could be because of like an ether wind, and it's higher up in the air. According to Enoch, there is a wind that actually causes the motions of the sun and moon and stars, right? And so would it be wind like you perceive it, or would it be like an ether wind or a drift within it? I don't know. So if you get to a certain height, so let's say above 50 miles or even like above 40 miles, maybe it's just like you just could float using magnetic levitation. And if you could do this, you'd be able to stop on a dime and go in crazy directions and go at high speeds. So that's what I think UFOs are. I think they're very much identified. In fact, I think they were originally discovered as archaeological discoveries from past civilizations. And in order to hide this, they told you the lie about ancient aliens and all this idea of like intergalactic extraterrestrial aliens, which clearly does not exist and is incredibly stupid. But I know for a fact that UFOs exist. I've seen them myself like probably 10 times. I've seen 7 in one night, and they were all going north. I've seen 6 orange lights in the sky one time, and I was like 19. I was with another one of my exes. We pulled over because it was so crazy, and they were moving through the sky left and right, up and down, and then they started like going away one by one. When there was 3, they moved around and then made a perfect triangle, right? And then one disappeared, the other one disappeared. As those 2 were disappearing, the third one from the bottom right moved up to the middle and stayed right in the middle of where the triangle was. If you people want to explain all that away somehow, then good luck. But there are UFOs, but it's nothing to do with intergalactic travel. And of course, now the Navy's coming out and declassifying and admitting that UFOs are real. Fox News just covered that UFOs are real. And of course, the problem is they're going to try to swoop in and tell you that it's because some aliens are up there or something. And that's how they're going to try to tell you that NASA lied and absorbed their lying. Oh, there you go, QE. Quantum Eraser is a legend. I don't know if that was in relation to you. I've seen lots here in Missouri. Dude, I know for a fact the phenomenon is real. Well, Fox News said it has to be true. Yeah, no, that's what. Yeah, my whole point is like it's becoming mainstream, right? They've got a story to come with it, right? I'm not sure what that means, bro. From beyond, I don't know. I don't like to speculate too much, to be honest. ET extraterritorial. Well, technically, yeah, extraterrestrial would be like they could come from like just another terrain, which could be something, but whatever. I don't know. The real gravy, in my opinion, is that we have a magnetic field on Earth, and like magnets, magnetic fields can only come like in pairs. Like dipoles, got to have 2 poles. Well, we can't have the magnetic field we have on Earth the way that they told us. Simply cannot, right? And like again, that was attributed. I credit Cammy for telling me that, and I started looking into it, like blew my mind. Like you start looking in like these papers by Harvard and Yale, and like they can't explain the magnetic field. They're trying to explain a monopole, even though monopoles are just hypothetical. They're trying to explain like a theoretical idea of a monopole because they're missing the fourth convergence point of the magnetic field. And again, they can only exist in pairs. And so if we got, a dipole and then we have another pole, well, there has to be another one. There has to be. And so in order to actually maintain and sustain this fourth convergence point, you would have to have some land to do that. And so not only have they hidden like the fourth convergence of the magnetic field, like they've hidden the land that sustains it. And maybe, just maybe, that's where they like to kick it, just a theory. Just a theory. But you've ever seen the movie Elysium, they do like to hide stuff in plain sight. Oh, my boy Mister, I want to talk more. What's it? Yeah, cool, me too. Perfect. Because you were a ladle and gravy. But look, check this out. So yeah, I'm definitely down always. My boy Mr. Anderson sent me this. I was telling you guys like was it like 8 months ago? Like, dude, this is all a script. The world's a stage. Trump was cast in the world stage as a hero. He's only here to update the infrastructure, like every sector of the infrastructure. This is going to be a great reset of all the infrastructures, including the monetary system and everything. Right? If you want to know my take on that, I got a video called "New Monetary System Incoming." I think it's from like 5 months ago. So anyway, check out what's in New York. Times Square. NASDAQ is proud to support the reset with the globe earth up above it. This is in Times Square. NASDAQ is proud to support the reset. Okay. Probably just another coincidence. Yeah, Elysium, it's like that movie where all the rich people go to space, a medium that cannot exist because it defies natural law. And they go up there and like all the rich people have this different set aside civilization where like no one ever gets sick because they have these machines. You just get in there and it instantly heals like any ailment you have, and they don't let any of the poor peasants ever close to it. Well, maybe that's truth hidden in plain sight, but of course it isn't in space. It would just be an area that they do not allow the average person to know about. And then maybe whenever the people work their way up and they get on this world stage, they're promised to be allowed to go there, right? And maybe they think that they've achieved immortality because they've extended their lifespans a lot with something. I don't know. But it does appear that they promised them immortality. And then this gets a lot deeper because there's like the whole spiritual aspect, or more so the esoteric metaphysical aspect of, bucking the system and attaining mortality without basically the approval of God or God doing it. And then it gets pretty interesting, right? And then you got the pillars, and then say that they create a field in between them. And then you've heard the song like Stairway to Heaven, the stories about the center and how it extends all the way up. And then Enoch tells you that there's actually a mountain on earth that goes all the way to heaven. And y'all remember where in the Bible it says that Yeshua was actually taken to the top of a mountain, and Satan showed him all the kingdoms of the earth. He said, you can have all the kingdoms of the earth if you bow to me right now. And he showed him all the kingdoms at the same time from the top of a mountain. How could he ever do that on a globe earth? Obviously he couldn't. So we don't even need to entertain the globe earth because it's, remedial and stupid. But if he showed him on the flat earth, how would this happen? Well, you would need a really tall mountain still. What better than a mountain that extends all the way up to heaven, like Enoch says, and it's in the center. That way you could see equally out, equidistant in every direction from the center. So you could see every kingdom of the world from the mountain. They're hiding what's in the center, and it appears that there may be a magnetic mountain. People call it Mount Meru, whatever. There you go. If you place the pillars correctly, a stairway appears. There you go. And that's the whole thing. That's why they always put the pillars right in front of you. I agree with your take on that, Kim. That's where I got it. Yeah, but you got to be careful, though. Like, we're made in the image of God, for sure. But, like, we aren't gods. Like, we're not gods. Like, we are not gods. Like, but we're made in the image of God, right? Like, we may have powers that our little, carnal minds may think are actually are like, that would make us a god if we ever reach those powers, right? But like, I don't know. I do kind of lean like this might be the case, right? Like, we're made in the image of God, and so we're super powerful. And it says in the Bible, like it with just the faith of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain, right? And so, like, we don't utilize our true power at all, right? And the Bible straight up tells you basically, like, if you can combine thought and emotion into one singular force, it's the strongest force that exists, basically, right? This is me paraphrasing, but it says it numerous times. And so the idea being, basically, life is just a test. It's like training to get to where you can be capable of actually yielding the power that you were created with or created to be able to have. But us humans, right, or us, like, well, just God's creation in general, like even the angels, some of the angels bucked, right? Like, if we were just given the power outright from the jump, we would just destroy everything. You know what I mean? So, like, you got to constantly be sat down, learn until you're able to actually have all that power, but know how to utilize it and not be irresponsible, because with that much power comes so much responsibility. But I think that even at that peak power, we are not even close to comparable to the one true creator. Obviously, he gave you that power. So, like, the kingdom of heaven's within, like, like, we're made in the image of God, like, okay, but we are not God. There is a distinct difference. Okay, and that will be, in fact, the New Age theology, where it's like, oh, like, we're all gods, we're all going to come together, unify under love, this is the new religion. And, I would pump the brakes. I would, like, you were created, bro. XRP is the way. I can't necessarily disagree with that. I told everyone that a while back, right? So, yeah, definitely want to look into that, and then buy low, sell high. Not financial advice. If you got any questions about it, email me or whatever, because I did do a lot of research into it. I told everyone to buy it at 17 cents. Actually, supposedly one of my followers put 20 grand in there at 17 cents. I don't know if she was telling me the truth, but she's doing all right now if she did. Oh my gosh. What in the world, bro? Why did you do this, bro? You make me uncomfortable. Well, thank you very much. That's incredible. Finally have my super chat working. I have a question. What is light? God is light. God is light. And thank you very much for the super chat, bro. I appreciate it. Wow. And of course, I would say light is an ether perturbation of the excitation of the medium makes it be illuminated and perceivable. Your eyes only perceive a certain amount of vibration. So when you excite the medium with energy introduction, it actually causes the vibration to actually become perceivable. And so what we're seeing is the illumination of the medium itself due to the excitation of the energy introduced. And then we only measure an illumination rate or an induction rate back into the ether of the energy. So all we're seeing is a perceptible version of the medium itself. But the source of all of that is, of course, God. So what is light? God is light. Thank you very much again, bro. Cheers with the apple juice. Loving these streams. Sweet, thanks. Glad you enjoy. Thanks again, Rocky, and everyone that super chatted. Y'all are the best. I think this is the not cold apple juice. Ugh. Also, if anyone has D-Live, bro, WitsitGetsIt on D-Live, hit you with a follow. So if the grabblers come and get me whenever I hit you with these next few streams, because the next few streams I'm planning are heavy on the gravy. Let's just say that. They're not going to be very well received by the grabblers. Maybe I'll just do those on D-Live alone. Dude, I think I should just do it on D-Live. Like, I thought about, like, I feel like kind of like I'm cucking. I'll take y'all's advice, whatever y'all think. Maybe I'll consider what y'all think. But like, I used to think like, oh, I'm just cucking. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm cucking to YouTube and like the grabblers if I don't cover certain things on YouTube. But at the same time, it's like you still have to be smart about things. You know, it's like DLive, like they don't keep your videos up there. Like I'm so small on there. I don't have any of the perks of like the main people on there. You have to reach a certain level. You know, I don't know. And I already have so many videos on here. I don't want to just like be super reckless and throw it away. I mean, I'm never going to like not speak my mind, but I'm trying to wonder if I know a topic's like super, super like forbidden by the grabblers. Maybe I should just do DLive only streams. And that's why I'm trying to encourage everyone to at least go like download the app so you know where to find it. But, you know. I think we'll all be moving over to Lighthouse. Oh yeah, that's true. True that. Hey, if Lighthouse really pops off, like comes into fruition, it should be this next month, right? Yeah, Lighthouse looks pretty dope. So I will definitely be partaking in Lighthouse if it manifests. Now it's time. People are ready. Tell the truth about creation. Lead them to the Creator. Will do, brother. Will do, my man. Apple juice and gravy. Thanks again, Rocky. You didn't have to do that, bro. I hate the fact that the grabblers are going to take a third of your money, bro. All knowledge about becoming one with that source. Lighthouse should be super cool. And respectful gravy. Wait, what is gravy or what is the gravy about? Gravy is like it turns your like something that like just like turns your mind into gravy, right? Like, well, that's some serious mind gravy right there. So if someone's like ladling gravy, like they're melting your mind to gravy. It's like something you never heard. Like, did JFK even really die? You know, or like, what was Victoria's secret? I heard Queen Victoria never had any kids. You know, or God seems to be an abbreviation for Godriel, which is actually the serpent, so Lucifer. So they've inverted everything, even the very name that we say God. Like, you know, if you never heard that, you might be like, "Whoa, that's some gravy." You know what I'm saying? Please do a whole show on Enoch. Yeah, there are like numerous episodes on Enoch. What do you mean, bro? Are you saying? You need a debater have a convo with Jeffrey Daughtry about the validity of Enoch. He called himself the Christian whistleblower, but walk away. He posts in discourse sometimes. Don't know who that is. Tell him up. I'm about to wrap this up, guys. Please do a whole show on Enoch. Y'all just read that. What is the? What is that? Row? I don't even know how to row. Pay attention to. I don't know what that is, QE. I have no idea what that is. Is that like a type of gravy or something? I don't know what that is. This predate 1992, bro, because that's when I was born. Is the firmament the same as the event? Nah, just some inversion of the truth to give you a little bit insight when it comes to the firmament and the Van Allen radiation, bro. Mind melting. Oh, where did it go? In cooking, good gravy can fix anything. It's all powerful. There you go. Even adding to the analogy. We're coming up on an hour and a half. That's normally my mark. Does anyone know of ether energy changes with celestial events? Like this eclipse Monday morning. I know one heard there are different levels of ether. I mean, if there's a vortex within an energy field and it gets wider to the top. I mean, that would be the difference. I don't know. I think we would probably have to have a better understanding of the causation of eclipses to really get into that. Rho is like burnt flour and grease. I don't know what it is, bro. But it all starts with Rho. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I haven't. Will the meek truly inherit the earth? Well, did the scripture say that? You don't burn it. I'm like genuinely lost. I feel like a glober right now. Who's the moderator of Flat versus Flat? Oh, QE himself. So, could be, that should be all right. I mean, he has a decent grasp of fallacies. I mean, we can make it work. I mean, can't always get what you want. No, obviously QE knows fallacies pretty well, so it should be a well-moderated debate. He knows I got hands, so he'll stay in line. Scientology's gay. Great stream. Thank you very much. The thing about StreamYard is like it just shoots all the comments down like super fast. Look, everyone in the chat's confused. It's not just me, bro. It's fat and flour cooked to thicken the gravy. Oh, so there you go. You're asking what first starts the gravy? I mean, it would always be relative to what the gravy is. So I found out that JFK's high school best friend was gay, and he moved him into his White House with him, and that his name was Lim, and they have all kinds of gay pictures together. And then Lim was the name of the lunar module that landed on the moon. So what's the gravy? Was Marilyn Monroe a dude? That was the best I come up with on the vlog, bro. Great show. Thanks for sharing. Thanks, man. Much love. I'm a rookie, bro. You're right. I need a wifey to cook, bro. I'm not supposed to cook. The wifey's supposed to cook, bro. I can help her or something, but I got no wifey. All the girls are completely not based or even willing to be based. Or live in Canada or something. Isn't that right, Red for Bear? It's a thick base cooked down. I thought Victoria's Secret was trans investigation. Victoria's Secret comes from Queen Victoria. And it appears that Queen Victoria just never had kids and something was going on there. So what was her secret? Was that pronoun was inaccurate. All right, guys, I'm about to get out of here. We're all just talking about how to make gravy, like literal gravy. Look what you've done, dude. What would NASA's story be if they absorbed the flat truth? I don't know if they're going to absorb it. I think that they may just the Space Force will take the place of NASA. They'll disband NASA and admit that they lied about a lot of stuff and then take a bunch of their employees over there. They may not even admit that NASA lied about a lot, but they may. Or they may say it was super corrupt and they've lied quite a bit. They absorb it into Space Force so that way they don't have to answer for all the lies. They just say, look, they lied. So did the CIA and the FBI. We're going to have to update all of these. We might even need a new intel system. Dude, I told you about that too, right? So whenever Trump comes president again, and then they create like a new intel system, right? Like, so like the intel groups of the CIA and FBI, if they start updating one of those or something, they come up with a new one. Remember, you heard it here first. The serpent's representative energy movement. Big subject on its own. What are you talking about? Oh, so what you're saying is like get to the crux of the issue, basically, like get to the heart of it. All right. They're about to everything that's going on right now is an incredible delusion so that they can try to bring about the second world order, which will be the resurgence of Nimrod. Oh, we got a Nimrod stream coming. We got the lies about Christmas stream coming, which will also involve something about Nimrod. So we got Nimrod, we got Christmas, we got the hidden group of people from history. All right. We got a lot of gravy streams coming. Is there any evidence of the distance of the sun? No, of course not. Thank you very much for the super chat. It's much appreciated. Y'all are the best. Caroline, Arizona Flat Earth chick. Oh, that's not too far away. I kid. The row is the desire to seek truth. Gravy is founded on that. I'm trying to get to the bottom so I can shut down the stream, but I just can't catch up. Gravy stream. Oh, the gravy streams are coming. Oh, we're at the bottom. Society of Jesus stream in the future. Oh, yeah, the Jesuits are getting decapitated for sure. Nicely done, bro. Nicely done. I didn't think about making it an entire stream, but we should. All right, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Much love. Let me go show some love to everyone D-Live. Thank you, everyone D-Live, for being here. Y'all are the best. I don't know how to do anything on here, so I'm just going to. I guess I'm just going to. Agreed. Debates help a lot. Thank you very much for the diamond. Thank you for the other diamond. Chainsaw Cat, you are much appreciated, my man. Thanks for the lemons. Oh, geocentrist. I don't know if this was today. I don't know how to figure any of this stuff. I feel like a boomer. No offense to the boomers. I love you, boomers. As long as you don't believe in the moon landing. We'll forgive you for the insurmountable debt that you gave us. $28 new followers today. Not too bad. Okay. Yeah, thanks for all the lemons. Thanks for the diamonds. You are the best. Thanks for the super chats. You're the best. What's the D-Live name? WitsitGetsIt. It's in the description if you need a link. Yeah, I mean, you got to make boomer jokes, man. Actually, what's pretty funny is I'll show y'all. I'll show y'all. You know how Facebook would be like, you posted this a year ago. Here are your memories. I'll show y'all what I posted a year ago. It's pretty funny. It's actually relevant to the boomer thing. And then we'll get out of here. But yeah, so we'll do a stream dismantling the Jesuits. Which, I mean, if you don't know the Jesuits are super weirdos, then what are you even doing, bro? You must think the earth like defies physics. All right, let's see if I can. Bang, bang. This is the post I made a year ago. Maybe I might just think it's funny, but friendly reminder, this year marks 50 years from when the U.S. president called the moon 238,000 miles away, no delay, live. For a small donation of your critical thinking skills, you can believe this and become a boomer today. Again, I love all you boomers. Just a joke. I mean, the boomers are normally the ones that like really can't let go of the moon landing. You know, like they really can't let go of it. Say less things. Why are you watching me ramble on camera then, bro? Peace, bro. Wow, thank you very much. I appreciate you. You are the best. Peace and love, homie. Thanks again. All right. You're one of those exceptions, Bob. It's okay. I love y'all. If you're a based boomer, then y'all are actually. This is actually not sarcasm. Like, if you're a based boomer and you don't still think that people landed on the moon, and you don't get like all up in arms that we don't like love Israel, right? Then, or at least the state of Israel and the subversive nature in which they constantly control everything. Allegedly, I just heard that from some people. I don't know. Allegedly, that's what I hear that they did, right? But anyway, if you're following that group, y'all are actually like some of the most valuable people, right? Because y'all have a whole lot of wisdom that we can actually soak up. But I'm not making fun of anybody that's a boomer, man. Come on. All right. Anyway, it's been cool, been real cool. Like I always say, I'm plugged from the box. It's an ideological, metaphorical box. You got to step outside the box and think for yourself. Do not, conform into consensus or society. Society's always wrong about everything. And the weak, stupid people, they always group together with mob mentality and they throw stones from the sidelines, usually hiding behind anonymity, trying to attack the stronger, independent people because, in fact, they're actually envious of someone. They can't fully understand someone that has the cojones or audacity to step into the face of consensus, take pride in it, right? Never worry about what those people think, but those are like the opinion of those people are like the ones you should care about the least. I might play my song again on the outro and start doing that. But again, thank you for everyone for joining. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the lemons on DLive. You are the best. You're incredible. I appreciate it. And I will catch up with y'all probably tomorrow. Of course, we got Glowbusters tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central, so I'll be doing that. So if I do a stream, it'll be later in the night. I'm not positive, but I may try and hit y'all with a quick stream tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying? And I'll catch up with you tomorrow.
That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature to mean extorted it. They forging it if news anchors informant to informing them. There's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we porting ships, important gifts. Of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks. We ignoring which informing this, informing this. It looked like we were snoring tricks. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real?